YouTube, back again. Today we're going to rescue Greg's Mowing's lawn. So I've arrived at Greg's Mowing's house. We're going to fix this lawn up. He's got me in, he wants a specialised guy doing it. Yeah. So this side's really mossy. This side isn't that bad, it's just quite a bit thatchy. There's a lot of grass underfoot that needs pulling out. So Greg's going to give it a mow. I'm going to get on the core aerator, then we're going to scarify it, then we're going to seed it, and then this section we're going to put compost on the top just where the moss is. There's probably not going to be a lot left there. So let's get cracking. So Greg has started out with his wee bang. It's cutting nice and low. So we're just taking all the top growth off there, showing any sort of lumps and bumps. So I'm not really too sure if you can hear me with that bloody noisy thing on, but we did bring the Ego Pro X, but it is absolutely soaking today. So he's going to use his choice of mower while I get cracking with the core aeration. So got two Ego 10 amps in here. Get this powered on, 87% battery. Got our throttle on there. Keep this quite low, it doesn't actually need to be that high. So Greg's using his choice of lawn mower. Using the 53cm wee bang, and to be fair, it's scalping this down really well. Brush on the front as well, helping remove the dew. Absolutely soaking wet here. Obviously you can see all here is all pretty mossy. So we've actually got the Ego PGX power bank here. So this is a 40 amp battery. So what this will do is when my batteries run out in the Scarifier or the aerator, you put them in here and this will charge them back up. So this will, say you had two 10 amps, this will in theory give you 6. So this will be able to keep you powered up on the job. Now normally I'd mount this in the van, but we bought it in the back garden just so we haven't got to keep running backwards forwards to the van. But to be fair, the aerator, I've been really impressed with the run times. Seems to just keep going and going and going because there's not actually much strain on it. Scarifier, battery life on that is pretty dependent on how hard you're going in the ground, really. Got 2 hours on this machine that I've done now as well. Greg has kindly supplied coffee as well in a nice Ego mug. It's quite nice watching someone else work for a change rather than me doing it all. It's gone cold though. Suppose I better get going, haven't I? So a bit of the renovation process, find it really important to, if you can, cut the lawn short first. Like, you can really see here how much we're taking off. Now, you could take even more than this off, but this is really going to help when you come to scarifying and the clean up. Hollow core aeration. Obviously here we've got absolutely mountains of holes in the ground. This is going to help with compaction. It's going to release gas and oxygen. It's going to get down into the roots. So you can normally carry this out in the spring and in the autumn. What I also find helps when you aerate the lawn is, if you picture these thousands of holes on the lawn, when you throw your seed down, some of the seed will fall in the holes, and I've always found I've got really good germination from the seed that's fallen down in there. So, what I'm going to do now is, I have currently got the fixed blades on the Cayman Scarifier. I'm going to get those off and get the free swinging stay sharp blades off, just because this is really mossy. So I'm probably going to run free swinging blades first and then swap back over to the fixed blades. The free swinging will pull out the majority of the thatch and the moss, and then the fixed is going to cut us some nice grooves into the surface. So let's get this cassette changed. So Cayman's new system now has a quick release system. So all you need to do, what this really helps with the battery one as well, because you can flip this over and you're not flooding the machine. So if you flip these over, rest that on there. Now under here, what you'd normally have is a case on here. So you take those two bolts out. So what we've got here is the stay sharp blades. So these are your free swinging ones, but they've hardened these off compared to the old ones. Now for the new cassette change, the quick change, you've got to get this one bolt off here. Get that one down, pull this out the way, don't lose your bolts. Two bolts off here. From here, you just shunt the cassette over and out. So if any of you have used the older version one, you'll know how much hassle it was to change these cassettes. Whereas now, this can be done really easily. Just got to line this back up in there. Line these back up. Arm back up here, find where I put the bolt, there we go, bolts on there, and that's that, it's the cassette change done. So really simple, as you can see there, the free swinging blades. This is your fixed blade cartridge, really good at slicing in the soil, cutting any lateral growth, whereas this cassette I find is really good at moving the bulk of material, and you've got really fine spacings between the blades, whereas with these you've got a bit more of a gap. Finally the sun has come out, can actually work in the dry. So nearly done coring here. I think it's time for another coffee. So, all cored now. It's back-breaking on these lawns. I'm glad I got Greg here to help though. He's just heading off to get another coffee, keep us going. So yeah, all cored. Now we're gonna get Cayman Scarifier out. Free swinging, stay sharp blades. And I'd imagine there is going to be a hell of a lot of thatch coming out of this. So 2 batteries in there, we've got 94%. Let's go. So this is hitting a few lumps and bumps along here where the lawn isn't level. So if there is any spots that's digging in, it's just going to expose a bit more of the soil, but it's not really a problem. And as you can see, the Ego is absolutely powering through this with no problem at all. Just trying to kick some of the piles as we go, just to kind of disperse the clumps. Now you could bungee cord the flap up, but what I really like on the Cayman is where this flap sits so low down, if you do hit any stones, it doesn't send it flying out the back of the machine, it kind of hits the flap, it doesn't go anywhere. So if you do open that flap up, you could be prone to smashing a window, which we definitely don't want. Are you sure you want all this out? Oh, you want me to put it all back? All right, rewind it, we'll put all the thatch back in. Won't be running that one over. Greg's just jumped on the Scarifier, and as you can see, this is really pulling a lot of mess out. So all this is moss and thatch and all unwanted rubbish that builds up in your lawn. Obviously it's like any other plant, it grows, parts die off. This is the process to rip all of that out. And as you can see, look at what we're pulling out from just one pass. So, like I said in a previous video, it is better to keep on top of this. So we're going to do 2 passes with this. We're probably, because this is wet, going to tidy this bit up, sort of blow it all to one section, and then scarify again, because Cayman is normally good at ploughing through a lot of debris that's left on, but where this is wet and really sort of clumped up, I think we'll get a nice, better Scarify if we blow now. Also, trying to make a video here, Acres Lawn Care's ringing. Hello, mate.
How you doing? You still in the middle of it?
Yeah, I'm filming now. You're on video, mate.
Hello, everyone! How are you getting on?
We're ploughing through it, mate. Greg's on the Scarifier.
Nice. What are the conditions? Wet?
Soaking wet, mate, but we're getting it done.
That's good stuff, mate. Good stuff. All
Yeah.
right, well, I'll let you crack on with it.
Yeah. Hang on a sec, mate. So make sure you guys head over to Alex's channel, check out his stuff. He's absolutely smashing it with the overgrown gardens. So we've got 50% battery left now, started on 95. So this is going to use more battery the further you go in the ground. So it is really hard to give an actual time because it's going to be really dependent on how deep you go into the ground. Everyone, I think, is gonna go different depths. It's sort of not a complete guide, and it will depend, like lawn to lawn, on how harsh you're gonna go. This, obviously, as you can see, really needs it by the amount of rubbish we're pulling out. Have to say as well, this cassette free swinging blades is doing a really good job at smashing up the cores as well. So a lot of guys will core then scarify. Some will scarify then core. What way do you do it? So, just finished scarifying this main section. Started on 95% battery. We have now got 29% left. So I think it's done quite a good job really for the amount of area we've covered and what we've pulled out. Greg is now getting the backpack blower, getting this all blown into the middle, then we can get it collected. So, all scarified now. We've got 23% left. What we're going to do while we're collecting is going to use the key. We'll pop the batteries out. Put the key back in, don't lose that. Now we're going to take these, put these in the PGX charger. Turn it on, and now these are going to start charging for us. Once we finish collecting the waste, these should be all done. Can you believe all of this has come from one pass? And we've still got to do another one. Always handy if you've got someone here helping you. Normally I'm doing this on my own and it is an absolute nightmare. So let's get all this out the front, get it in the van, change the cassette and do it all over again. Second pass, different direction. Let's go. So I think what we're going to do, I'm not going in too deep on this second pass. I think what I'm going to do is do another pass after this in another direction, so 3 in total, and then we will be done. This is what I said in one of the previous videos, it's a lot easier if you can keep on top of this, because this is absolutely back-breaking work, especially on a lawn of this size. So with these fixed blades, where the free swinging stood up a lot of the growth, this is actually going through and cutting that. So if we do 2 directions with this one now, we're going to guaranteed we've cut all of that sort of lateral growth that we've now stood up, and we're going to put more grooves in it. Obviously we are only we're going to seed the whole lawn, but we're going to compost just the left hand side. There's quite a lot of existing grass that will come back from this. Cost an awful lot of money to top dress lawns, so we'll try and just stick to the left hand side. I mean, even down here now where I am, there's quite a lot of grass here. So bit of seed, fertilizer, bit of rain, and then this should come back absolutely fine. What we'll be doing, we'll check back in here once we've finished in a few weeks, see how the progress is. Temperatures is dropping ever so slightly through the night now, so I'm hoping we don't have a real cold snap, and that sort of hinders the seed germinating. that is our second pass. Well, we've done 2 passes, 1 initial pass with the free swinging blades, 2 passes with the fixed blades. Now those second 2 passes, we started on 100% and we're now at 51%. So using the fixed blades is getting you a longer run time and you're getting the grooves in the soil. So I would use the free swinging for pulling out the bulk of the material and then the fixed for getting your grooves and cutting into the surface. Greg's doing well at supplying the coffee. So this is the last bit of thatch from the second and the third pass. Greg's currently mowing again. It's quite important to mow after because you're never going to get all of this up. This is just going to cut any of these off. So one error I think I might have made is normally I would scarify, collect it all up, then core. Whereas today we cored, then scarified, and that has completely closed all the holes up. So I'm going to actually get the fracture tines on the cam and aerator, and we're going to poke some holes in because I want that seed in the holes, because I found I've got really good germination rate from it falling in the holes. So we'll collect this up, get the fracture tines on, run over it, then we'll get the seed down. So lesson learned. Personally, I would tine afterwards. Here we've got the compost that we use. This is my go-to. It's really clean, it's dry, and here we have all the waste. So we have all of that in there, and then all of this. So if you're a client or you're someone and you say we don't need scarification, yes you do. Keep on top of it little and often and it won't get in this sort of state. Now I've made a bit of an error because I said I was going to run over the fracture tines and I have forgotten them. I've actually taken the tines out of the van, so the plan now has slightly changed. I'm going to come back, we're Saturday now, I'm going to come back Tuesday, we're going to spike the back, seed it and compost. I think now we're just going to get the front scarified and get out of here. It is 3 o'clock on Saturday. I'm knackered, Greg's knackered, it's been a long week. So, bit of an error. I do wish I had them tines with me, but we live and we learn. Definitely, if you're doing this, tine afterwards to keep them holes open. So, back at the yard, we're going to get all this thatch out now. It's been an extremely long day. With filming and bits and bobs like that, it does take a little bit longer. So, get this out, and then I'm going to go back there on Tuesday, Saturday now. Back there Tuesday, finish the back off, and then tick that one off the list. So let's see how much thatch come out of that garden. Absolutely loads of it. So all of this is going to really choke your lawn up, so you need to get this out. Obviously you can see there moss, lateral growth, it's absolutely sopping wet. So when you put any fertilizer down, how's it going to get through this to actually get to the roots? So it's really important to get this out of your lawn. Pretty shocked that I actually got all this in here and all the machines. I did leave the compost and the seed at Greg's ready for next week. But yeah, this is a hell of a lot of thatch, all from that one lawn. Didn't want to leave this in overnight because this is going to get really sweaty. You can see just here, this is some thatch from the other day, so it really starts rotting down quite quick. Where I've got a container on a farm, all this actually gets composted down, and then they use this in the muck spreader to fertilise the field, so it's getting recycled as well. So we're doing our bit. All the leaves will be put on these piles as well. Do sometimes think, God, I need a tipper or something, and it'd be a lot easier, maybe a trailer, but trouble is with a trailer and like a van this size, some of the sites I go to, I can barely park the van on its own. Annoyingly, the fork's in the container, so I think I'm just going to try persist getting it out with this. This is back-breaking. It's 20 past 5 now, 25,000 steps later. Been doing this all week and I'm absolutely knackered. Don't normally work a Saturday, but we haven't got any other time to get this fit in, so we've had to come and get it done. And Greg's going to have real nice lawn in no time at all. Hopefully the weather sort of plays ball, we get some moisture and it doesn't get too cold. I've actually got like a shade mix, the seed from Hurrell's to go on his garden. It does take a little bit of time to germinate, but as you can see, it's shaded and it's mossy, so we need that mix on there. That is ridiculous. I'd have loved to actually gone on the weighbridge and seen how much come out of there, because this section was absolutely full with that. That's it for today now. So what we're going to do is I will see you back here on Tuesday when we finish the lawn off. YouTube, we're back now to get it aerated, seed and soil, and it's raining. So I had all big plans of get back here in the dry, spike the lawn, seed, fertiliser, compost with the Landsea, and I think that plan has gone out the window because I don't know about you, but if you've ever used the Landsea in the wet, it is a no-go. It's a brilliant bit of kit, but not in the wet. So we're still going to get it done because I don't want to delay on this any more than I already have. So the plan now is spike. We have got the fracture tines on here, so the lawn hasn't miraculously fixed itself. Saturday we done it, it's now Tuesday. You can see some of the growth pushing through. There's a bit of moss left in here, but obviously you're never going to get all of this out. And now hopefully with the feed, this grass will all help push back through, and the seed we're going to get down will perk it up. So let's get this aerator out, get some holes spiked in and get going. So aeration's now complete, gone over that. We've gone over this bit twice just to add even more holes. As you can see down here, we've got loads of little slots in the ground, which when I now go and get the seed, some of that seed is going to fall down in these holes, which will definitely help with germination. Does look a little bit rough, but trust me, a couple of weeks and this will be looking a lot better. So we'll just check. I think we started on 95% battery here, and we've got 74. So the aerator really doesn't use a lot of battery at all. So really happy with that. So let's now go and get the leaf blower. I'm just going to blow the leaves off of here before we put the seed down. Let's blow the leaves, get some seed. This is not fun in this weather, and I do wish I could reschedule it, but unfortunately I don't have any more time. Let's now go and get the grass seed. So what we've got here is our Hurrell's HM5, which is our shade tolerant seed. The garden is very shaded, so I think this would be a good option for here. I've got a discount code for that, CJ Garden, if you want to purchase some seed. So this is my normal go-to compost. Works really well in the Landsea, but unfortunately we can't use that today. It's really dry, it's clean, and I've had really good results with this. So if you can get this, get hold of some. We're going to go with the old school method today, just throwing it down and raking it out because we're not using the Landsea, so it won't cover as far, but we're going to cover along here and up there and see how far our 12 bags will go. This really isn't ideal conditions for doing this, but I really don't have any more time to come back here again after having to come back here today as well. To be honest, I think this is going to come back well enough on its own anyway. And we can get on Greg's lawn a little bit more regular now. We can get on Greg's lawn a little bit more regular and kind of not let it get back to what it was before we got here. Just need a real fine layer just to protect the seed. It will keep the moisture in, keep the birds off it, but obviously doing this whole lawn does add a massive amount of cost. So if you've got a small lawn, I would always advise on compost, but some of the ones I do, we haven't always got the budget to do it. So we've got 4 bags left here, and we've done a fair amount, to be fair, and then a bit of a strip along here, just on the walk on and walk off areas. Yes, obviously it's not all done, but if you think 12 of those bags is sort of 70 quid to cover this lawn, does add a big amount of expense. So we'll be able to see when I pop back here in a few weeks how much better it is with the compost and without. The joys of being a gardener in the UK. I'm absolutely covered in compost. I'm pissed wet through. It's highs and lows, this gardening, isn't it? I think the results can be very rewarding though, because you come here to a lawn, you look at it, you tear it to bits, like in the customer's eyes you've ruined it, and then a couple of weeks later it's looking the best it's ever looked. I find a lot of the customers don't even know what scarification is. This morning, the job I've been at, they're like, oh, I could not believe all that waste in there. And I'm like, well, yeah, you've never had it done. That's why it's really bad. But being a former greenkeeper, for me on a lot of my jobs, it's all about the lawn. And now, some of them, most of mine are probably 90% commercial, but I don't see why they still can't have a nice lawn. And we just do it with what we work with the budget they've got. Not every lawn we're going to be able to cut once a week. Some are full of stones and tree roots and stuff, so not all of them are going to be immaculate. But with some simple steps and scarifying once or twice a year, regular sort of feeds, I would either do like 4 granulars with a few liquid feeds in between, or something I tried last year was actually on the care homes, rather than doing 4 granulars, I'd done 2 granulars, but they're a 6-month slow release, and that kept the budget, right, that kept us in budget, and the results were still really good. We've finished, so all we need to do now is get these boots cleaned off, get all this kit in the van, and then get out of here, and then this rain can work its magic for us. Now I hope if it is dry, Greg, you need to be out here twice a day keeping this seed damp. I will be checking in. I'll send the drone over just to be checking. So let's get packed away. So YouTube, there we go. We're all done. It does look a little bit odd with just a few bits being done, but you'll have to stick around a couple of weeks. We'll come back here, probably say about a month, and then we'll check back in and see how it's doing. So if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. It's grim and horrible out here, but it's done. I'm absolutely soaked through to my boxers. Waterproof coat is not waterproof anymore. Yuck. So if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Horrible today, but it's done. It's ticked off the list. We can let the rain do its thing, and that's going to help the seed and the fertilizer kick in. Like I said before, we'll be back here in about 4 weeks just to check on it, see how it's doing. By then the seed should have sort of germinated then. I would say about 2 weeks, so we'll come back here in a month. It should be transformed, hopefully. You never know with these autumn weathers now. It could be mild or we could have snow. If you like the video, please give it a like. Comment down below if you've got any questions. And if you can, subscribe and follow along to see what I get up to. Cheers.